party between two of my favorite Eastern factions, Armenia and Parthia, and by favorite I mean least favorite. I quite like Armenia, but Parthia, maybe it's the color scheme, I don't know, but there's just something about the way they dress and look that rubs me the wrong way. They don't look much like an army, they look like a circus troupe or something, but they can be very deadly. Parthia is one of the best factions currently. Armenia is also quite good, they have a lot of the same units. So I find that when I pick Armenia, people will often just immediately go for Parthia. And it kind of makes sense because Parthia has a more flexible roster than Armenia, in that they can bring elephants and they have good swords. The axemen aren't really a good choice against Parthia, they will lose to Parthian swords. So I'm going to try some sneaky things here. I'm going to post my Eastern Spears in the center, it's just a hopeless force of spearmen. Then I'm going to rush up here with my 4 noble horse archers, backed up by 6 Eastern Cataphracts and my noble spearman general. So I'm going to use heavy shot here, and I'm making a slight mistake here, because I should have focused fire on these mercenary Sarmatian horse archers, destroyed them first and then went for the general. But I'm going for the general first, which is a mistake, because these guys would be disintegrating really quickly, while this general can tank a lot with his 95 health and 90 armor. These noble horse archers are they're just a great unit. But I am going to be able to soak up quite a lot of damage from these guys, and it doesn't look like he's going to use heavy shot against me, so that's good. It's going to allow me to take a lot of shots. And this force, I'm going to move into the forest and try and hold these guys off while I deal with his units here. I really want to kill his general, and I want to kill these mercenary Sarmatians. Now I'm giving attack orders on them, and just look at how quickly they drop to heavy shot. There we go. Another volley coming in, and they just die like really quickly. So I should have done that from the beginning, but I got a bit anxious to kill his general and made a priority mistake there. Now these guys, I'm going to post them in the woods just for fun, and sort of hold off this army. Hopefully he doesn't push here, because these guys will just disintegrate. So I'm going to put my cataphracts here to look menacing. I don't really want to charge my cataphracts down through the woods here, especially not when there's infantry nearby. So I'm just skirmishing a bit with my noble horse archers, taking some casualties. But he's starting to take casualties on his general, and when he's blobbed up like this, I'll be able to get kills on all of these units while just firing at one of them. So a lot of his guys are going down now due to the massed fire of these noble horse archers. I also have the terrain advantage because I claimed this hill early on. That's good for me. The noble horse archers are finally starting to die. The mercenary Sarmatians are starting to die, but I need to be careful because he has Persian light archers supporting here, and there are a lot of skirmishing units here for my Parthian friend. Still, general, it's finally starting to pay off with the heavy shot on the general. The general is almost dead, and killing Parthia's general can be very important, because there are not very many disciplined units on the battlefield. Of course, a dead general can't inspire, raise banner, or use other abilities to make his guy stay for longer in the fight. So now I'm going to just go for some shots on these Persian light archers. I'm going to try to pull these noble noble blood cavalry closer to my Eastern Spears so I can charge them. I'm going to lose a depleted unit of noble horse archers in the process probably, but that's fine, that's a trade that I'm willing to take. Sending in the Eastern Spears and just pulling away. The Eastern Spears are of course terrible units, but they do have a nice bonus versus large, so they'll be able to kill a few of these noble blood cavalry. And now I'm just going to use this unit as bait, just for a pincushion. So I'm going to use it to push back any archer units, and with their good shields, they look at Armenia's Eastern Spears, I think they look pretty cool. It looks like they're holding a door, running around with a door. They have decent shields and they are good for soaking up damage because they are so cheap. So these, I like to shoot at them sometimes myself, but it's really not the best use of arrows because these guys will die to just everything in the game. There is no point in prioritizing these guys at all. So, some more skirmishing going on. Battles between Armenia and Parthia tend to be a bit drawn out. Here I managed to bait some javelins from these Parthian swords, so that is awesome as well. They're just dying like dogs. But here, since his forces are separated like this, and they are starting to get depleted, I'm going to send in my guys. This charge, not the best charge. I should have redirected a bit earlier. I think I redirected at the last. Yep, I redirected at the last minute. Use trample to get a good charge on his Eastern Cataphracts. Send in another unit of Eastern Cataphracts. Then I'm going to go for his archers here, but he had a second unit of Eastern Cataphracts over here, so I should redirect any second now. Yep, but a bit too late, so he's going to get the best charge. I'm not really sure how that works, if I get a charge bonus at all, but he overextends here a bit, and I'm going to capitalize, send in my Cataphracts straight into the rear of these Parthian swords, and I'm getting a bit of a weird charge here, but it should do a lot of damage coming in like this into thin lines. He's countering me with his own Eastern Cataphracts. I'm charging through here, through the Parthian swords, into the Persian light archers, and Eastern Cataphracts are going down to the fire of noble horse archers and to these two Cataphracts, and now I need to start taking care of these skirmishers before they can kill too many of my men, because there are a lot of archer units on the field. Pulling my Cataphracts away after killing off these most of these Parthian swords, well, no, they stabilized, so that's too bad for me. Still, now I'm going to send in my meat shields to tie down some units for rear charges. Noble horse archers got stuck. It's the annoying bug where you stop an entire unit if just one guy makes contact with an enemy unit. It just makes no sense at all. But here you have the amazing abilities of the noble horse archers. They have the mass and the melee stats to just charge through units like this and destroy them, basically. So they are taking fire now, but they have decent armor, so they'll be able to weather some arrow fire. Over here it's just a clusterfuck of things going on. I sacrificed this unit of Eastern Cataphracts in order to get to these Persian light archers, but it didn't quite work out. And now I am quickly running out of units, so I need to be really careful. But he's not protecting his skirmishers, and that's going to be really bad for him, because I have enough free cavalry units that I'm able to destroy all of these skirmishing units that are going to be very important for his late game. But now it's not looking too hot here. My noble spears are going to be able to go in and support the fight against the Eastern Cataphracts here. All of these skirmishers are gone. These skirmishers over here are going to go down pretty soon as well. But my Cataphracts aren't getting a huge amount of kills here. They are dying without really paying for themselves. But on the other hand, these noble horse archers, they are doing very well, and they need to do well because they are expensive. So getting countercharged by Eastern Cataphracts here, and that's going to make my noble horse archers die very quickly indeed. Let's see if I manage to pull them out. No, it doesn't look like I do. But I am going to pull them out and go for the Eastern Slingers. And I'm chasing away all of his skirmishers with the few units that I left, and this is one of the reasons why it's so difficult to protect skirmishers against cavalry, because these units were engaged, but they're able to follow new orders and peel off and go and destroy units that are other units. Over here as well, peeling off the unit of Eastern Cataphracts and able to destroy a unit of Persian light archers. So now I have a lot of cavalry free. The balance of power has been in my opponent's favor the entire battle, but now it's going to shift pretty quickly when I'm able to attack at will. And you'll see this a lot. I don't know if you saw the tournament battles that I streamed yesterday, but it was the same with Pontus versus Parthia. It looks like Parthia is behind. Parthia does some skirmishing, and when the Cataphract charges start happening, you'll just see units routing and being plowed down really, really quickly. So it looks like Parthia is losing, and then all of a sudden there are no enemy units left on the field, and the few units that are left on the field have been charged and are traumatized by these super heavy shock cavalry charges. So I really like the noble horse archers for Armenia. Very tanky units, can eat a lot of fire and do a lot of damage. Since they only have 35 missile damage, when you use heavy shot on them, their missile damage will actually increase. which it won't on the archers that already have 14 missile damage, so can be nice to know. And now it's just a matter of mopping up these swords, and when using Eastern Spears for the main infantry corps, you're basically denying the Parthian swordsmen any good targets to, because just killing Eastern Spears is going to be a total waste, and it's going to be very difficult to kill these Eastern Cataphracts charging with Parthian swords. So I'll just fast forward because now it's just a mop-up operation. So I think that's one of the things that Armenia can do to counter Parthia. Just bring the Eastern Cataphracts and don't try to contend with the infantry, because usually Parthia will have the infantry advantage due to having the very good Parthian swordsmen. The axemen won't be able to compete, and I really think that going for Noble Horse Archer Cataphract, that combo can be extremely good against Parthia, because you should be able to both win the horse skirmishing fight, and you should be able to win the cavalry engagements, and you'll have the tools to deal with both elephants and heavy infantry. So I really like that combination. As you can see, the Parthian swords go down fairly effectively. It was a pretty good battle. His Noble Horse Archer General didn't do much, his mercenary Sarmatian horse didn't do much. That was because they were firing at these Noble Horse Archers. Almost 200 kills there, 116 and 46, so pretty decent. 201. These guys killed a lot of enemy troops. They actually killed more than the Cataphracts. The Cataphracts did okay, the Noble Spears did okay as well. The Eastern Spears died, that was their job. Quite like this build. And let's just have a look at how many skirmishers there were on the field for my enemy here. He had 7 foot skirmishers, and combined they got about as many kills as one of my Noble Horse Archers. These Parthian swords did okay, but this is kind of deceptive because Eastern Spears, they did kill a lot of Eastern Spears. And he had 4 of these Eastern Cataphracts, but I had 2 more, and I had the decisive skirmishing advantage, because I could use my skirmishers first to kill off his horse archers and his general, and then I could use them to just mop up all of these units, and that wasn't an option that my opponent had. These mercenaries, Sarmatian horse archers, they aren't going to be mopping up anything. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the battle.